Hey, what's going on, my people? Thank you for tuning in, Prophet Guy. So, real quick, I wanted to talk about building credit in the Dominican Republic. But why? Why would you want to build credit in the Dominican Republic?
I couldn't take it no more, so I left the matrix.
And my money just tripled. I had a good time and it cost me a little. So I found peace, tranquility, faith in my
I couldn't
abilities.
fake no more, so I left the matrix.
So, I get a couple of questions every now and then from some of you who watch my videos about getting money to like getting loans, right, to finance maybe a project you want to invest in the Dominican Republic, whether it's real estate or a car or something like that. Also, I get plenty of questions about opening up a bank account as well, and also about sending money to the Dominican Republic, right? So, one of the big things, one of the most important things that you have to take into account in getting a bank account, building credit, financing, and all that stuff is residency. Why do I say that? Because residency it establishes you as a Dominican resident with ties to Dominican Republic, right? So when you are a tourist, you can still open up a bank account, right? As long as you're within that 30-day tourist visa window. You can still get a credit card. You can still possibly get a loan. And you can do all those things as a tourist. That is correct. But let's be honest. What bank would prefer to loan or do business with a tourist when they can do business with someone who is a Dominican resident, who has residency in the Dominican Republic, right? Makes a whole lot of sense. That's the thinking of the banks and these financial institutions in the Dominican Republic, right? They want you to be a resident. They want you to have ties to the country. So, what do you have to do to open up a bank account? Now, it depends on the bank, but the standard things that I can recall off the top of my head with the three, I ended up opening up, I ended up doing business with three banks, excuse me, four banks in the Dominican Republic, four banks, and ultimately stopped doing business with one bank, well, two banks, and I only operate currently with two banks currently. And those two banks that I actually do business with right now is Banco Popular and Banco Reservas or Banco Reservas. So I was doing business with Banco Santa Cruz. I scratched that because I was getting more from Banco Popular than Banco Santa Cruz, and Banco Santa Cruz is not. They don't have branches in a lot of places, even though they were very user friendly. So I chose to stop working with them. BHD, Banco BHD Leon, they weren't that they weren't very easy to deal with. So I scratched that, and I ended up going with Banco Reservas and Banco Popular. And so, what do you need? The basic things you need really is residency. If you're a resident, that's the big thing. I don't recall anything out of the ordinary with these banks. I did with Popular, no, but I did with Banco de Reservas. I think I had to give them my social security number. I did. But apart from that, I mean, it was really just a few documents. When you're a resident, just a few documents. You show them, and boom, you're good. Um, so really, that's the easy part, right? opening up a bank account when you're a resident. When you're a tourist, they do require you to jump through hoops, especially Banco Popular. I mean, there's like 3 pages long of requirements for Banco Popular when you are a tourist, right? Reservas is less things that require. I think you do need to have a guarantor when you're going through Banco Reservas as a tourist. And a guarantor is basically someone who's Dominican, who can, I guess, be like your um, in case you default or you owe the bank money, the bank will go to that person, right? And usually for a guarantor, the way it works is whatever you're doing with the bank, that guarantor needs to have experience with that. So basically, if they're opening up a bank account, the guarantor should have a bank account as well. If you're getting a credit card, the guarantor should have experience with the credit card. If you're getting a loan, the guarantor should have experience with that type of loan. So that's how a guarantor works in the Dominican Republic. So yes, that's the start. Getting a bank account. And the second thing is getting a credit card. You want to get a credit card. A credit card is crucial to building credit and building that trust with the bank and the finance institutions in the Dominican Republic. So get a credit card. You can get a credit card as a tourist with a guarantor. I did end up getting rid of that credit card after I became a resident because it didn't really serve me because there were better credit cards out there that were more useful when I became a resident. And you don't need a guarantor when you're a resident, at least for a credit card, the credit cards that I've gotten. Um, So that's how you build credit, right? And there's a difference between credit in the Dominican Republic. There's credit with the banks, which consist of loans and credit cards, etc. And then there's credits that's called service credit. And that service credit is like, your internet with Claro or Altis, or the phone, your phone company with Claro or Altis, or if you paying the electric company with your luz, right? With your electricity or gas, things like that. Those are called service credit, which also shows up on your credit report when the Dominican banks are looking at your credit history. They'll have a section for service credit, and they'll have a section for the bank credit. So there are two different systems, but they come together when they're looking at your credit history. So that's why when you go to Claro and you want to get the highest plan of the internet, you can't get that without having service credit history. You'll have to start from the bottom if you don't have any, which sucks because sometimes the bottom they don't even have a plan for the bottom, right? You may qualify for internet at 10 megabytes per second, but their bare minimum is 20 seconds, so 20 megabytes per second. So that's the craziness that you got to deal with over there. But once you start building credit, then you don't have to worry about all those things, right? Things become extremely easy. All right, now let's get to the meat of this video. Getting a loan. Can you get a loan for a car? Can you get a loan for a property in the Dominican Republic, right? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Are they good loans? No, there's usually better loan options in your home country if you're coming from the US or Canada or somewhere else. There's usually better options there. But those options don't necessarily work in the Dominican Republic. The interest rates are crazy in the Dominican Republic. But then again, if you're going to be living in the Dominican Republic, you want to make sure that you actually are established in the Dominican Republic and their financial system if you plan on getting a car loan or getting a loan for a house or to build or to buy property out there, etc. So, yes, it's possible. But I tell you this, the the loans would be favorable to you more if you were a resident than if you were a a tourist. Because as a tourist, you'll need to show you're probably depending on the bank institution, because not all financial institutions in the Dominican Republic will loan to a tourist. Some will, and I've found at least one, and someone else, another expat, and gave me recommended me to another financial institution there that also uh, gives loans to for cars and for to buy property to tourists. However, you have to have good credit, a good credit history in the United States, and you'll have to give that information to the bank, and they will give you the loan based off that. But the the terms will not be in your favor. But if you're a resident, you wouldn't have to jump through all those hoops. If you're a resident, you don't need to show anything from your home country. You will show everything Dominican, right? And if you have been building credit in the Dominican Republic, then you will have favorable terms as a Dominican resident, right? So yes, your question is, what are the interest rates? I'll say that they're going to be very high, probably double what you're looking at in the United States. What How much money do you have to put down? So I know that I've heard, now this is based on what I've heard. I don't have the experience, but I do know for if you're buying a house or buying property, real estate property, I've heard that you will have to put down at least 50%, if not more. Right? That's what I've heard. I don't have experience, but that's what I've heard. But I do know that if you have residency, I've gotten some quotes for from one bank in particular that it's 30%, right? If approved, it'd be 30% down, right? You probably even, and I've heard some people find 20% down, right? So that works if you are a Dominican resident. Now, I did go through the process of, I was just checking out to see if I were to buy a car, could I do so as a tourist? And I did not buy a car, but I went through the loan process just to see, just so I know. And I was approved for a loan to buy a car as a tourist. I wasn't a resident at this point. And the bank is called, uh, it is escaping me right now, but it's right off of in Santodomingo, off of Avenue. It starts with a T. Tirantes. Tirantes. So I don't remember off the top of my head right now, but it's on Avenida Tirantes, and I will give you the actual name of the bank when I edit this right here. But so this bank approved me for a loan. So I know that it's possible, right? I did have to put a significant amount of money down, but they used my credit history from the United States to approve me for that loan. But once you're a resident and once you have those relationships with the banks, it makes things so much easier. I'm telling you, it makes things so much easier. But the big thing that the Dominican banks really look at is movements, right? Movements in your accounts. So you want to make sure that if you have to present your bank statements, your Dominican bank statements, for your loan application, you want to make sure that you are depositing frequently every month good sum of money in your account, right? So depending on your purpose, if you're spending, I don't know, 3 grand in Dominican Republic on a monthly basis, you want to make sure that you have that 3 grand passing through your account every month. That way, the Dominican bank will see that and they'll see, all right, this person has income coming in, and therefore I know this person can actually afford this loan. So those are the type of things that the Dominican banks look at. Now, you can Now, once you do that, you have those movements, right? That they will use what you're depositing into your account to determine the terms of your loan or the terms of your credit card or the limits of your credit card, right? And if you want it to be your limit to be higher, if you want the terms to be better, right? You want to deposit more money on a monthly basis, right? So that's what they look at. Movements, and not just depositing, but they actually want to see the transfers. You're using the account. They don't want you to just be putting money in the account and not really using it, right? So yeah, but those are the essentials for what you can do to build credit in the Dominican Republic, so you can actually take advantage of those credit cards and those loans in the Dominican Republic. Then again, if you are from the U.S., it may be in your best interest to have your credit cards in the U.S. and do the bare minimum in the Dominican Republic, because the Dominican Republic doesn't necessarily have the best terms as far as your loans and credit cards, but they do have some good credit card programs in the Dominican Republic. For example, I Fly United, right? I Fly United for the most part. And if I don't fly United, I fly within airline within that Star Alliance family, right? So I fly United. If I'm not flying United, I'm flying Copa or I'm flying Avianca, right? I pretty much try my best to stick with those when I'm traveling within the United States and Latin America. So why does that matter? Well, Banco Popular actually has uh, United Mileage Plus credit card, right? So you can actually get that credit card with Banco Popular, but you need to have a relationship and build a relationship with Banco Popular to actually qualify to get that credit card. Also, you need to be putting in so much money monthly for a long period of time to actually qualify for that credit card. Also, you need to actually have experience with the credit card first with Banco Popular to be able to qualify for the credit card. So you see there's many layers of what you need to satisfy in order to get exactly what you want in the Dominican Republic. So for you all who like to use American Express, well, there's an American Express uh, and the Dominican Republic with Scotiabank. Scotiabank has the American Express in the Dominican Republic, you know, with the gold and the platinum American Express card. Yeah, you can get that in the Dominican Republic with Scotiabank. But you need to have a relationship with Scotiabank, and you need to build that relationship with Scotiabank over time, right? So again, there's some good credit cards programs out there in the Dominican Republic. So you just a matter of knowing about them and building a relationship with that bank so you can actually get that credit card with them. Um, I think I talked enough about this building credit with Dominican Republic and all that. If you all have any questions about, you know, opening a bank account, getting a credit card, or getting loans, building credit in the Dominican Republic, let me know. I don't have all the experience, but I have a lot of experience with all of this. So just hit me up on email or my Instagram, and yeah, I'll help you the best way I can. Also, just do me a favor if you haven't done so already. Give me a like, share with your friends and family that you feel that will benefit from this video, and subscribe to my channel, and you'll be getting more content from me soon. Peace.
What up, my people? Hola, mi gente. Gracias por tu apoyo. Da me gusta, sigue mi canal y comparte con toda tu familia. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please give it a like and subscribe and share with all your family if you enjoy my content. Peace.